Hey guys, welcome back. We're doing Tales from the Loop board game playthrough. I'm super excited about it. I just got it last night. I did an unboxing. The art on it's fantastic. The design seems really cool. The rule book, that's a little bit to be foreseen. I've gone through all the rules. I've done a couple of just sample rounds just to kind of get an idea of the flow of the game. I think I've got it figured out, but there's a lot of terms that are kind of hard to find or or don't make sense exactly. We're gonna go through it. Hopefully, this video will help me learn the game and help you learn the game as well. I mean, there's like a couple of old videos of the like prototype version of a play session, but there's nothing new right now on YouTube to kind of help. So hopefully, you find this video and it's helpful to kind of do a setup. So I'm gonna go through the game setup, even though I've already done it. I'm gonna run through it with you guys. It'll help us learn the terms and kind of the flow of the game. So with that, let's dive in. So I'm on page 7 of the rule book. We're just gonna we've the game board has a description of all the pieces and parts, but there's a lot of terms. So step 1, set up the board in the middle of the play area. Boom. Set the it looks like an eyeball with like a moon shape in the middle and an eyeball with it closed. So the eyeball with the moon shape is called insight, and that's a progress track up here on the top of the board. And as you progress, that's good stuff. You want more insight. The other one, the eye closed, is an enigma, and it accumulates through the game, and that's bad. We don't want accumulation of the enigma. So the lower we can keep that number, the better. The higher we can get that number, the better. And during the play session, I guess those can go up or go down, or there's triggers. I believe off of how high when they get to a certain number. So for now, they're set to 0. And we set the calendar token on Monday, week 1 of the calendar. So these are kind of rounds. They're scheduled as weeks, which is a really, really cool idea and a way to track things because your kids, right? Your kids, you have to go to school during the week. You have to pull school cards on the weekend. You get more like time tokens. Which is awesome. So it's a very cool mechanic that I love. And also, you can see on the weekly schedule, there's a chore chart. So we have to get chores done as well. Mom and dad want us to do specific things, I guess. So on top of saving the world or solving these random loop issues, we have to do our chores and go to school. So I love that. It's so much fun to kind of juggle all these like crazy like otherworldly things and also like normal school issues like bullies and homework and whatever. So I just really like that mechanic. Okay, so that was step 1. Step 2, each player chooses a kid they want to play and takes their corresponding character board and trait tile. So I've picked. I'm playing solo, but I'm playing with 2 characters, and then we're pulling these. These are the trait tiles, and what we do is we look right here, and it says 2 to 3 or 4 to 5 players. So we're on the 2 to 3 players. So 2 to 3 characters. So we're gonna both of those are put here, and that gives us our kind of our dice pool, right? So our strength on Stefan the Jock is toughness 5, and our weakness is he's dense, so he's not very smart. So that means if we roll something with toughness 5, we roll 5 die, and if we roll something with dense, we roll just actually 2 die. Sorry, we roll 2 dice. So and then the standard pool, if he tries to roll any other trait, say it's like a handshake, like talking to someone, then the standard dice pool is 3. So that's just a FYI on that. Okay. Um, with the face up corresponding to the number of kids in the game. Okay, everyone should also take their standee and a 6 time cube. So these are time cubes. and also take a favor cube and place it in the smiley face on the favor track. So I understand that these are on the very edge. It's very hard to fit all this game on camera, but you can see this is the favor track. So this is basically how happy our parents are with us. So right now they're happy with us. If it goes here, they're not so happy, or they're just neutral. If it goes here, it's bad. We get grounded, and other bad things happen. So we want to keep mom and dad happy as much as possible. So it starts out in the happy track, and then let's see. Each player checks their iconic item and takes it from the item deck. So with Stefan, our iconic item is sneakers. So we went through the item deck and pulled the sneaker card. So that helps us with green stuff, with green kind of activations. I'm not sure what the term is yet, but and it also can be combined. So sneakers combined with club will make a decoy. Sneakers with makeup will be knockout. So there's keywords that we're trying to solve that might let us bypass rolls, and if it has that keyword in there and we can build it from the items that we have, then that helps us succeed in our tasks. So we're gonna have to be looking out for those. Like, we're gonna try to gather more items so that we can combine them together and build these things that'll allow us to succeed. Okay. But that's our iconic item. So in the Tales from the Loop world, like in the role playing game, like you build your character, and they have an iconic item that they're kind of known for. Like the jock would have his hockey stick, or the computer geek would have his keyboard or his computer or his like scientific calculator or something like that, and that can be used as a boon. For yourself as you're playing the game. You're like, well, I need to do this equation or whatever, and I'm going to use my Texas Instrument scientific calculator or whatever to do that. So that's it's a really cool like gimmick, and I absolutely love it. Okay, shuffle the deck and place it near the board. So the rest of the items are here, and we just shuffle them up. And I already did, so I'll just do a really dirty shuffle, and we place them off to the side. And then, so now 4, choose or randomly determine the scenario you would like to play. It is recommended to start with bot Amok. If this is your first time, take the chosen scenario card and reference it during the following setup steps. So that's what we do. We have these like scenario cards, and I'm gonna run the bot Amok card, and it says that there have been reports of machines behaving erratically, just walking in circles or simply disappearing into the woods. There's even been a couple of dangerous incidents. If the kids haven't won by the end of week 2, it is an automatic loss. So we pull the rumor set with the robots. So that's these. So it's B1, B2, B3, B4, B5, B6, and B7. All of them have the robots in the corner, and they're double-sided, but we're not supposed to look at any of these cards except for the very top one when we start the game. So all of them are kind of there, but all that's in play right now is this one, B1 with red on top. So that gets set to the side. We do starting diaries, B1. So yeah, we're B1. Starting machines. So we pull out these 3 machine cards, and we pull out these are called response cards, and there's 2 sides of them, right? So there's the I think it's the alert side is what it's called, and then the standard. And I can't remember what the term for it is. Basically, the standard, the default response. So right now they're not activated or anything. So that we put those there, and then event locations. We pull this event location, the Satuna spiders, and just FYI, guys, I'm not Swedish at all, and I am a typical American and can't pronounce anything in another language, and I'm so sorry. That is not acceptable, but I'm horrible at it. So I'm gonna hack all of these names, and I am so sorry in advance. Okay, and then so we're putting all, and then so we've got all these hunters out with this standard response cards, and then we put them in this location. So the Par Hafur, is in F8, so we go F8 and we put it there. The fire guard is in C7, so C7, and then the watchdogs are at A4, so those go up in the correct locations. And then, oh yeah, here it is. So take the corresponding machine sheets and place them near the board, and place each machine's standard response card. So this is a standard response card on the designated space in the sheet. If the machine starts nearby, see the box to the right, to an open location, whiteboard, or place the response card on routine. Otherwise, it's on the alert setup. So as you can see, the MK79 is nearby a white circle, so they get the standard. Same with the fire guard, but the watchdogs are nearby this the Davin factory, so they get an alert. They get turned to the alert side. And nearby basically means if you're in a grid square that has one of these like circle like locations, then you're technically nearby it. So that's basically what it is. If any part of your grid has one of these circles in it, that means you're nearby. If you're adjacent, then basically like, you know, this is one square, you're adjacent to this square. Okay, and also these two towns are adjacent to each other. These two locations. Make sense? Diary cards are out. Rumor cards. So these rumor cards, they're all of the like, it looks like a cassette player and robots. So there's a gigantic stack of rumor cards in this game, and you're supposed to go through them. And you look in the middle here, and you see there's a robot. Let's see if I can find it. There's a cassette player. So you pull all of the robots and the cassette player rumor cards, and you shuffle them up. And you place them right here on the rumor draw deck. Okay. Any rumor card sets not mentioned in the scenario setup are returned to the box. Take the school cards. So we've got all the school cards. And the school cards are this cassette tape. And it looks like, again, a cassette tape player. It looks like all of the school cards have that right now. So maybe there's expansions that are different with them. So we'll shuffle these all up, and we put them on the school draw deck. Okay, and basically this pile. So these piles, they're gonna go out on these spaces. And then we have to basically travel to the points in the map and search for rumors that will help us basically solve the puzzle. So these will all get distributed here, and I'll go through that step in a minute. And then when we search those locations, we get to flip these cards over and see what it gives us. So that's kind of what's happening with that. Put all the firewall tokens face down or in an opaque container near the board. So these are the firewall tokens. And I just have them off camera set to the side. So there's a big pile of these, and they're used when we're trying to hack the robots for whatever reason. I haven't gotten that far in the rules, so we're gonna have to find out how that goes kind of live. But they're all off to the side. One at a time, draw cards from the rumor deck and place them face down on the rumor track. Okay, starting with 1 and going to 4. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. If you draw a duplicate letter, nope, no duplicate letter, or a rumor already on the track, put it aside and continue dealing out cards. When all 4 cards have rumor cards with unique letters on them, shuffle any cards you put aside back into the deck, then put the rumor tokens on all the locations on the board that correspond to the letters of the rumor cards. These tokens help you determine where to go. Okay, so we're going to move this token to X, the Magnetrine docks. We're going to use this token to I, the dig site. That's nice and very far away. We're going to use M, which is, I believe, school. Stenhamra. Okay. And then last is K, which is Svartsjo prison. So there. So now what happens is we'll travel to these locations. We'll search. So that token gets flipped over, and then this card gets flipped over, and then we can decide to do things based off of what that card says, and we get clues and items and stuff like that from those cards. Okay. All right. Each player draws 2 chores and chooses one to keep. The other is returned to the deck. Okay, so we pull our chores deck out, and so we're gonna do Sasha first, the computer geek. We're gonna see what chores mom and dad have assigned him. So we pull 2 chore cards. We get the next part and the weekly cleaning. So the next part, I've waited a year for the next book in the series. There's a book release event, and the lines will be long. On Wednesday, spend 2 time tokens while at Sangasabi, which is here, Jade, to place a counter on this card. Success. So if you do that, you stay up late to keep reading. Relieve upset and scared, then become exhausted. The book isn't great though. Or failure, become upset, place 2 counters in the upset space, then relieve upset, discard a counter. When relieving upset, discard a counter instead. Okay, so you're basically double upset, which is not good. Or weekly cleaning. Yes, Dad, I said I'll do it. I just need to finish this comic first. Your room has reached a new level of messiness. You need to do something drastic. Spend 1 time token at home or discard an item, not by making combos, to place a counter on this card. So we have to do it 3 counters. We have to do that before Friday. Nice and clean. You also found that old thing you thought you'd lost. Draw an item and relieve either upset or scared. Okay, cool. Or failure. You come home to a stripped down room. Discard all your items and your iconic item become grounded. Ooh, that is real bad. I think what we're going to do is... I mean, this one seems really easy, but we're going to get exhausted for staying up all night. I'm tempted to do the weekly cleaning. Let's do weekly cleaning. So Sasha's going to pick weekly cleaning. All right, and this will go back in the deck. And then Stefan, the jock, we'll see what he has to do. And the comic book, or staying up for the next book in the series, is kind of the computer geek's MO. I'm a computer geek, and I have stayed up for a book release, or a video game release, or a movie release. And so, yeah. Okay, 2 more chores for Stefan. Making new friends. Each day I snuck some of the school lunch with me to the nest and fed her. You found a scrawny raptor chick. Whoa! That you started feeding. Once per round, you spend 1 time token at Morby Inn to place a counter on this card. Okay. A few school meals and she's much happier and taking a liking to you. Take the Pet Raptor Anomaly card. Ooh, cool. Still hungry. She gives you a nasty gash and runs off. Become injured. Okay, this one seems pretty good. Love is in the air. Oh no. Okay, you keep thinking of Robin in 6B. Every round you spend your first time token walking Robin home to Morby. Place a counter on this card. Oh, every round you spend your first... Okay, so Morby... I think, yeah, Stefan's hometown is actually Morby, so this might be... It might be pretty easy, maybe? You feel elated by your time together. Relieve all conditions, moving injured 1 step. Okay, or failure, you waste your time on unimportant things, become upset, and lose all your non-iconic items. I think we're going to do this making new friends, because that sounds cooler. So this might not be on camera, but, well, it's really hard to get all of this in camera, so sorry in advance. Okay, so that's good. Okay, shuffle the deck of chores and anomaly deck and place them both near the board. So the anomalies deck is, so the items deck are kind of our normal items that you can see every day in the 80s. The anomalies are the weird stuff like a control glove, a magnetrine disc, an unstable compound, a power, an alien, machine mind. So we're going to shuffle those up. And obviously, if we get the Raptor, that's an anomaly. That's something that you don't see in the 80s very often. So these are kind of the uncommon, like crazy, weird loop items. So we'll set those to the side for now. Okay. Place all character standees at the school, which is M. So we're all at school right now. Place any other tokens, cubes, and card piles within easy reach. Done. The player who last saw an 80s movie is designated as the first player. I actually watched Back to the Future here recently, so that's kind of a 90s movie, though, isn't it? Was it 80s? I don't know. But I'm the only player, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so we begin. So we basically so it kind of explains event location. It explains playing the game, like all of your kid tokens and stuff like that. So I've kind of I'll skip that part. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go to playing around. So we start out with the school phase. So first off, we check the diary cards. So let's read this diary card. So erratic behavior. So this is the bottom mock. So I'll put that to the side. Erratic behavior. Lately, some machines have started behaving in odd ways. Mostly it's small things like walking with a limp. But last week, a Parhufar almost rammed Anderson's truck. There's something going on with the machines. Investigate rumors about oddly acting machines and the Parfur itself. But put a machine token on the base of the Parfur. So that's this one. So I put a token on that. It will not move as long as the token remains on the base. So you spend 2 time tokens when nearby to flip this card. So when we do that, we flip the card and we read whatever's on this card. But that's the one that's active right now. Okay. We replenish time. So these are our time tokens. What happens is we'll move them as we use them. We're going to move them in here. And if we get wounded or exhausted or whatever, these get kind of moved into these slots. But for now, we have 6 time tokens because we're at school. That's what we get. Okay. So we've already done that. Prepare for rumors. All currently remaining rumors on the board are then slid to the right to make space for new ones. So if we had solved this one, then these would kind of move over into the number 1 spot. But since it's the first round, that doesn't happen. A new chore, we don't do that because we pulled one. So at the beginning on Monday of next week, then we get a new chore that we have to do. We have 1 less day to accomplish it. So. Okay, so we start a school day now. On any weekday, the kids have to go to school before starting their adventure. Place all the kids on M, and the first player then draws the school card. So this is the first player token, which is so cool. Like the art is just fantastic. I love it. So Sasha is going to be our first player, and then I'm going to move it down here. That's probably mostly off camera, but it's okay. So Sasha is going to be our first player. So we're going to reveal what happens at school. Here we go. Detention. Oh no. No more talk about squirrel eating dinosaurs. So there's the handshake icon. Try talking yourself out of it or spend 1 favor. We are dull, so we're very boring. So we're not good at talking to people. So that would be bad. And this icon up here, it means first player. Only the first player rolls and cannot receive any help. So that icon means that only the first player does this roll. There's other ones that like everybody's kind of involved or something like that. So that's what we look at too. Also, if this was not the very first round, we'd look up here, and that's how many new rumors we'd get. So I don't know if you can see that, but it says number of kids -2. So there's a -2 icon. So we have 2 kids, so we wouldn't get any new rumors out. If this was a 2 or something like that, then what we would do is we would move these cards over and then put 2 new rumors out. And because these fell off the pile, bad things happen. So that enigma goes up because we knocked those rumors off. So what we want to do is we want to be very careful that we at least leave a space or two. So we want to investigate and resolve a couple of these cars before the next school day, because we don't want that enigma to go up, right? So we want to keep it as low as possible. So that's something that we're trying to juggle, as well as going to school and everything else. So okay, but since it's the first time, that doesn't happen. What we can do is we can spend one favor to succeed at this. Um, so either we success, you manage to get away with a warning, or failure, your teacher is stern. Spend one time token. Okay, so I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna spend a favor. So our parents aren't too happy with us, but we're gonna get out of it. So there you go. So that's resolved. So we get away with it with a warning. So now what we do is we move on to uh, the machine actions. And this actually, this icon right here is a firmware upgrade. And what happens is if we pull another firmware upgrade, if we pull two firmware upgrades in a row, then the machines do something. We'll get there if that happens, but we need to watch out. So what we'll do is we'll put this one here, and then the next one we'll kind of flip over, and we'll just make sure that there's not two of these firmware upgrades. So then what we do is we look, and the screwdriver and wrench is the MK79, which actually can't move at all anyways, but this X means it doesn't move. The shield, which is the fire guard, moves over one and down one. Okay. And then the watchdog then moves over one and up one, and it can't move up, so it basically moves as much as it can. And then we don't have any sword machines out, so nothing happens. Okay, does that make sense so far? I think that makes sense to me. But yeah, so after movement, each machine updates their response card. Okay, according to the sector it is in. Set the response card to alert if the machine is nearby one of the restricted locations. Otherwise, set the card to routine. Okay, so we're look at this guy. He's good, so he stays with the routine. He is good, so he's gonna stay with routine. And they moved out, so they're now next to this. So this guy gets flipped over. Is now the routine card. Okay. And then there's some, like, if we hack it and there's a hack token, if it's alert and there's a hack token on here, then rather than move it to routine, we pull the alert of the hack token off, and then next round, then it would go to routine. But since we don't have any yet, it just goes to routine. Okay. Okay, that's that. So now we enter the adventure phase. So school's out, right? Ugh, we got detention. It sucked. What's our relationship with Sasha and Stefan? Let's just say they're cousins. We'll say that they're cousins, and they hung out together over the summer because a lot of their friends were out of town, and so they kind of became closer friends. But they're kind of weird friend mates because there's a computer geek and a jock. So maybe they meet outside of school, like down the block or something, where a lot of the people don't congregate, I guess. So we're ready to go off an adventure, and maybe Sasha said something about, oh, these robots, they're acting weird, especially that MK79. It's acting really strange. We need to investigate. Let's go check it out. Like, come on, Stefan, let's do it. So they head out, and now we enter the adventure phase. So we can spend our time tokens to do different things. So we check the diary cards. So basically we have to make our way down here and spend two time tokens to kind of investigate this robot and why it's acting weird. But we also want to investigate these rumors as well. So, and I believe it doesn't state this in the rules explicitly, but I believe that it's kind of nebulous as far as when these characters can use time tokens. So I think like Sasha could use one time token to move, and then Stefan can use a time token to move here, or move down to assist if needed. So I think that it's not like Sasha has to use all their time tokens, and then Stefan has to use all their time tokens, and then they're done. It can kind of be used in conjunction. So yeah. Um, One thing we have to watch out for is this robot is in this space. So if we move up to Sangasabi, we have to do something, which is let me find out here. There's something about it in the game. Avoiding machines. When entering a location, by whatever means, with a machine in a nearby sector, check the response card to see if a test is required to avoid it. If there's a green icon, no test is needed, but a red block or a yellow special icon means a test is required using the trait listed on the top of the card. Okay, so you can see the watchdog has a special, so we have to use either the blue idea or the strength to outsmart or break them. Uh, but the fire guard has just nothing. So basically, it's there. We don't have to avoid it. But the watchdogs, if we get close to them, we're going to have to do something to avoid them. So good. So nothing really happens. These character tokens actually have standees, so these stand up. But since we're kind of an overhead camera situation, I put them on their side just to make it easier for you guys to kind of see. Okay. Cool. So we are so we can spend time to do different actions. There's a bunch of different actions that we have, and there it's talking about like we can move around and we can do a bunch of stuff. So what we can do is if we walk from a white to a red or a orange, it's 2 time tokens. If we walk from a white to another white, it's 1 time token. If we take a bus ride, so any of these red squares, we can do a bus ride. Move between 2 locations with a bus stop by spending 1 time token. During bus rides, kids only have to avoid machines nearby the destination location. So technically, if this one had a avoid thing, we could take a bus ride. Oh no, we would still run into it, I guess. We could take a bus ride up here for 1 time token, but it's still nearby this location, so we'd still run into it. But technically, we could avoid it if a different situation kind of occurred. Uh, okay, and then we can take a car ride if the kid is in good favor, so smiley face, which with Sasha is not. With their parents or guardians, they can come and get the kid at their current location on the game board and then take them to any other open location. This move costs 1 time token and reduces favor 1 step. See more about favor pages on page 27. So basically, Stefan could be like, can you please take me up here? And they would say, yeah, 1 time token to get us all the way up here or all the way over there. As long as it's not an orange circle, then we're in the clear. So it's going to take a lot of time to get over there because it would be 2, 4, 6, 8 time tokens just to get there. And another kind of factor that's at play, we're kids, right? We need to be home. So if we are at any location and we want to return home, what we can do, so like if Stefan is way up here and he's done investigating and we're almost out of time tokens, he can spend 1 time token and basically transport himself all the way back to his home location, which is Morby. So then what that does is he's home for dinner, and you can move to home and you gain +1 favor. So if we're here, it would increase our favor, make mom and dad happy. If we are in a restricted location, then we have to spend 2 time tokens to transport us all the way home. So that's something that we have to keep in mind as we're spending our time tokens. If we stay out, something bad happens, and I can't remember. I believe that our favor goes down with mom and dad, and then something else I think happens too. But we'll get there if the need arises. So okay. So what we're gonna do? So we can scout a location, we can investigate, we can trade, we can hack machines. This is kind of all of our actions besides movement. Um, we can rest. So if we have one of these conditions, we can put a time token here, and then what happens is that we can relieve one of these exhausted tokens by spending time doing that. So I think it stays with us. So say we're exhausted, so we're gonna spend a time token to rest. I believe this goes up here, but this stays. Yeah. So then at the end of the round, it kind of resets. So hopefully you can see that on the very edge. But okay, cool beans. All right. So what are we gonna do? So what we want to do is uh, we want to scout. We want to scout the rumor at the school, right? Something happened at the school. We heard about something, so we want to figure it out. So I think Sasha is going to spend one time token, and he's going to. It's called Scout. Face down rumor card on the same or adjacent location. The card and the corresponding rumor token are turned over, but the card's effect and action is not triggered. Oh, a face down rumor card on the same or an adjacent location. So technically, we could do if we were here, we could check rumors about that. So that's really handy. I didn't pick that up on my first kind of thought. So M. So what we do is we flip this icon over, and we flip this card over. It says Raptor Run. They're not much bigger than chickens. The area is full of small raptor chicks. Suddenly, they're all looking at you. Run! I think that Stefan would have something to say about that. So, success, you get away just in time, but find something in the bushes, gain an item. Failure, you get away, but with a nasty bite on your ankle, become injured, scared. Okay. So that requires a green icon, which we don't have. So if we were trying to resolve this, we would just roll three dice. And what happens is we build our dice pool. We roll the dice. So I'm not doing it to resolve this card at this point. We roll the dice. So we've failed. The only way to get a success is if we rolled 1 6. So anytime we roll the dice, no other numbers matter but the 6. If we get at least 1 6, then we succeed. So that's kind of the mechanics of those. So what we can do is we can leave this open. We don't have to resolve it, but hmm. Yeah, I'm wondering if we should, because we want to clear out this track a little bit, and I don't think we're going to be able to get to those rumors, which is going to be interesting to say the least. Hmm. Yeah, so I think Sasha's going to spend a time token, and he's going to try to resolve this. So what he's going to do is since it's a green lightning bolt, he doesn't have any. So he's clever and dull, so that's his strength and his weakness. Everything else is normal. So we're going to roll 3 dice. Yes, there's a 6 right there. So perfect. You get away just in time, but find something in the bushes, gain an item. So what we do is we pull our item deck, shuffle them up a little bit. Okay, and we draw from the top. We get an eyeliner. We get some eyeliner. Okay, so you can see that each one of these items you can combine them with different things to do knockout, which evidently like makes you really good looking, I guess. So clothes and eyeliner is good. Loud and eyeliner, sharp, and eyeliner makes chemicals. So anyways, that goes into our inventory. We can have 4 cards. If at the end of the round we have 5 or something, we can have them until the end of the round, and then one kind of goes away. Okay, so that's now resolved. So that goes. I believe it just goes off to the side. Maybe we put it right there. Okay, and then we'll move this back here. All right, good. We're off to a good start, I think. So now what? Um, so maybe Sasha is going to move down here. Boop, like that. So he's going to spend 1 time token to move there. And then he's going to spend 2 time tokens to do this. Spend 2 time tokens when nearby to flip this card. So we're going to flip the card. Here we go. The glitch. You find an area that Rixenergy cordoned off in shambles. The fence has been wrecked, and the MK79 uh, tracks lead into the nearby woods. Remove the machine token from the base. Okay. And then move it to E8. So E8. So it goes up one. Okay. It is glitched and moving according to its own agenda, but it's erratic. Uh, put it put its erratic response card in play. Routine side up. Okay. So now we grab. We've got these cards here, so you can see that it's erratic. So we can pull the MK79. I don't know. Yeah, there's two of them, but they're exactly the same. So because there could be two MKs out. So yeah, both of them are exactly the same. So we pull this one. And then we replace this one with this one, and it's in the it's on the routine side, so it's not on the alert side. So it's on the routine side. So now we have to be very careful. Okay, there we go. And then do we need to, when entering a location with a machine in a nearby? Okay, so we've already entered it. Okay, so we're not actually it's moved away, so we're not at that location yet. So okay, so we're still good. Okay. Well, now what? Put cards. Okay, put cards B3 and B4 into play. So I guess we don't need B2 right now. So B3 and B4, put them into play. Okay, and then discard this card. So I guess we'll just put it over here maybe. Okay, so then we'll put B2 on top just in case. Okay, so now we have two cards in play. Behavioral analysis. The glitched machines behave erratically, but don't seem to act maliciously. Not right now, anyways. A glitched machine uses the erratic response card. Okay. When a hacking or a void test involved, a glitched machine fails, add a counter to this card. When there are 3 counters on this card, or a glitched machine is wrecked, flip all erratic response cards to their alert side, then discard any counters on this card and flip it. Each of the following can occur once per turn. Gain 1, what is that called? Insight, when a glitched machine is scouted. Gain 2 insight when one is successfully hacked. Okay, so what we can do is I believe what we can do is we can scout a machine if it's in a nearby sector. The kid can gets to place 2 of the leftmost firewalls on the firewall track face up. The kids now know some of the machine's behavior. So basically, what happens is we'll pull 2 of these icons and flip them over, and then we kind of know like how we're gonna have to bypass this. And I don't know what all these icons are because I've never hacked a machine before, but there you have it. So if we scout, we get 2. When we scouted, we get 1. If we successfully hack it, we get 2. So that's good. And then it looks like, yeah, here's kind of our win scenario maybe. The more you study the machine movements, the more it seems they're not random. It seems like they're searching for something. When a MK79 moves, ignore the direction arrow. It will instead move 1 single move arrow or 2 double move arrow sectors closer to the fire guard. If the MK is adjacent to the fire guard at the end of the machine movement, put card B2 into play. Okay, interesting. All right, so that's kind of our stuff. I'm going to put them up here just so they're kind of easier to keep track of. Okay. All right, so that leaves Sasha kind of in he's pretty done for the day. So his home is Sangasabi right here. So he's gonna spend 1 time token because we're in a white square to go home. so we can make it home for dinner. So we're supposed to, like, if this is a standee, we'd put it on its side, letting them know that it's resting. We can't use any help actions while we're at home or anything like that. So then, if we're home for dinner, move to home and gain 1 favor. So we mom and dad are happy with us again. Okay. And it really didn't have to be that way. It kind of just worked out that Sasha was in the right place, and so I just kind of did all of Sasha's turns. But I could have done a couple of time tokens with Sasha, switched over to Stefan. Stefan could have done stuff like he could have came down and helped or something like that. So yeah, there you have it. So what are we gonna do? So we have to be careful because the MK now, to avoid it, we have to do either green or blue. And he is not good with blue at all. And green is just going to be 3 die. So, what can we do? Maybe we can work on our chore. Making a new friend. Okay, you found a scrawny raptor chick that you've started feeding. Once per round, you can spend 1 time token at Morby to place a counter on this card. Okay, once per round. Okay, so yeah, let's do that first. So spend a time token to move here. Excuse me. And then let's spend another time token. Then we add a little one of these like counter tokens. They're just white blocks. So we add 1 to there. Then when we get 2, we succeed. We just have to do that before Friday. Yeah, and then what else can we do? We don't want to move up into there because then we'll have an encounter with the MK, which we don't want. I guess we could scout that out, right? We can scout it from here. So let's do that. So let's spend a time token. We're gonna scout location K. So let's flip this card over. It says strong box. Damn it, I almost have it. The strongbox is using some new cipher you haven't encountered before. Why did you leave it behind? Why did they leave it behind? So it's a blue, which, yeah, he's not good at. So we success. We gain an item. If we fail, so we become upset. So, okay. Well, he's not even going to touch it. And I think we have to be in that space. Let me look. Okay. You spend 1 type token. The kid can perform a test on a rumor card with the same letter as their current location. So we would have to move up here to actually try to do that. Okay. All right. So, yeah, I mean, I'm a little worried about Stefan. I don't want him to move up there. I don't think he has enough time. So I think what he's going to do... I mean, he's already home. So yeah, I think he's just going to end his turn. That seems really ridiculous. But there's no way he could have made it up here. He would have not made it home in time, and we don't want to face those consequences yet. So yeah, so I think he's just going to go home. So his favor goes up. It's already at max. And then we are at the end. So let's see what happens. We are at the end phase. Once the adventure phase is over, the first player verifies the following steps. These steps can also be referred to as cleanup. Once that is done, the first player token moves to the next player to the left. So the jock is going to be the first player token. Discard excess items. All kids discards items down to the limit of 4. We're good. The iconic item may not be discarded. Good and bad favor. Kid standees that are lying down are home for dinner and they gain 1 favor. Move the token left 1 step on the favor track. Standees that are standing up didn't make it home in time and instead move the favor 1 step to the right. Okay, that's actually not too bad. So if we're not home, we just, mom and dad get less happy with us, so we could probably stay out and then make sure we just get home, the next time to make sure that we don't get grounded, right? Okay. Healing injury. If a kid is injured, move the locked time token 1 step to the right. If it then leaves the last box, place it in the action space. This happens whether or not they made it home for dinner. Okay, so I believe when you get injured, you go like 1 injury, 2 injury, 3 injury, maybe. So you can get more and more injuries, and then you would just move it one block over, and then one block over. And if it was here, you move it one block, and it goes back into your action space. Okay. Okay, and then here's the grounded. When favor is reduced to a frowny face, the kid is immediately grounded. Move 2 time tokens from the pool to the 2 grounded slots with house icons on the character board. They will remain locked until the kid's favor reaches either okay or smiley face. If there's not enough time tokens in the pool, use time tokens from the action space. Do not remove any time tokens locked by conditions. So yeah, we basically, if we had a bunch of conditions here, we'd have to use it from here or here. So yeah, that's kind of what happens. Okay, there we go. So that's the end of the round. So now we start over again, right? So we go back to the school phase. So we now go into Tuesday. Okay, we check the diary cards. Okay, so nothing happens kind of in this scenario right now. I think if we maybe at the end of the round or at the beginning of the round something happens on some of these cards, get replenish time, so we get all of our time tokens back. If there are any time tokens in any of these areas, that basically wouldn't get resolved. Okay, prepare your rumors. All currently remaining rumors on the board are then slid to the right. So we're gonna slide these to the right to make room. Okay. All currently remaining rumor cards. Okay. New chore. We don't get a new chore. We only get a new chore on Monday of next week. School day. So now we pull a school card. So we get new kid in class. And this is the icon that is first player. Only the first player rolls. So Stefan. Oh no, we have to try to befriend the new kid. At least we're not dull. So at least Sasha didn't do it. Okay. This is Peter. He's moved here from Lindigo. Lidingo. Give him a big welcome, everyone. So we have to try to befriend him. So we're just gonna roll our standard dice pool, which is 3 die because it's not our strength or our weakness. So here we go. Should have kept that one. 6. All right, so we succeed. Peter's happy to have a new friend. Gain an item. Awesome. So I'm just gonna pull from the top. We get a windproof lighter. Ooh. With combustible item, we get an explosive. With a battery, we get an explosive. With glue, we get explosive. Okay, so we've got a cool lighter, which kind of fits in with the jock persona, right? Okay, cool. So this is resolved. So this part is resolved. So now we do. Oh no. So we've got 2 cards with firmware upgrades. So let's find out what we have to do for firmware upgrades. Okay, firmware upgrades. If the current and previous school cards both have firmware upgrade icons on the bottom left corner, an upgrade takes effect. All hacked machines are reset and no longer count as hacked. Okay. If a firmware upgrade is in effect, or if individual machines were wrecked on the previous round, the affected machines return to play. Remove all firewalls on the firewall track, place machine on its starting sector, according to the scenario or diary, and set the response card to routine if the machine is nearby. One or more open white location. Otherwise, set the card to alert. The starting sector is already occupied by another machine. Instead, use it an adjacent sector as the starting sector. Okay, so nothing happens. So that's good. We haven't tried to hack them yet. So now the screwdriver and wrench doesn't move. The shield moves up and over, which that's perfect because right now this guy is glitching, and so what does he do? Ignore the direction arrow. It will instead move 1, a single move arrow, or 2, double move arrow sectors closer to the fire guard. Since there's 0, it doesn't move at all. If it was this one, it would have moved 2 closer to the fire guard. Perfect. Okay, and then this guy, he moves left and up. We can't move up. But now he goes back to alert because he's in a restricted area. Okay, and then we don't have any sword robots out there. Okay, so that's that. Oh yeah, we got new rumors too. So -1. So we have two characters -1. So we get one new rumor. So that's perfect. So it's a J. Okay, so it's a Sangasabi. Okay. Oh, and we forgot. On any weekday, the kids have to go to school. So they go back to school. So we're gonna move them here. Okay, there we go. All right, so now we move into the adventure phase. So you can see, like once we get everything set up, there is some kind of movement to it, right? Like it goes a little bit faster. Like each round can kind of get into a groove, and once we start learning, we do a lot better. So okay, so um, yeah, I think Sasha's gonna have to come down because we want Sasha to kind of handle that because the strong box we want Sasha to take care of, so he'll take care of the machine as well because he's got the blue to avoid it. So I think that's what we want Sasha to do. So let's have Stefan first. Let's have him move up here. So he's gonna use one time token. Actually, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna stay there because it's an adjacent location. So we're gonna do the scout. So we're gonna flip over the J rumor, the Goodell pulse. You hear that whining sound growing louder? An old lady from out of town seems confused about the noise from her hearing aid. Explain to her that it's nothing to worry about. So we can do makeup. Oh, it's a makeup icon. Oh, cool. So Sasha's got that. Okay. So we can basically use this item and automatically succeed, I believe. But Sasha has to do it. And since Stefan revealed it, let me just make sure that I have that right. How do we use items? Let me find out. Oh, and we also add one die to the pool if the color matches that trait. So a green, he would get 4 rather than 3, and purple also. Oh, okay. I might have missed that. So it kind of gives us +1 die to our pool. Okay, so we'd get 3 instead of 2 for dull. Evidently, eyeliner makes us not so dull. Okay. So are the items as long as they match the test. Gain more dice. Only items owned by the kid currently making the roll can be used. Item cards are not discarded when they're used in this way. Okay, so it says when using the card for either of the functions listed above, so it's basically an item tag that can be used to create combos with other items, or a special effect that is detailed on the card and unique to it. If the effect is in an action or replaces an action, it still costs one time to use. When using the card for either of the functions listed above, remove a counter from the card. When the card has no counters left, it is immediately discarded. So if it doesn't have a counter on it, is it just discarded immediately? If there's no counters at all, it doesn't say. So I'm going to say that this is a one-time use. So the eyeliner is a one-time use. So if we wanted to succeed on that, we just use the eyeliner. Okay, so let's look at trading because we're in the same spot right now. So let's see what we can do. We can trade for one item spent by one kid at the current location. All kids there can freely trade any other items or anomalies except your iconic item. They can exceed your item limit of 4 cards while trading, but during the end phase, any excess cards will have to go be discarded. Okay, so Stefan's going to use a time token to grab the eyeliner. Okay, then what he's going to do is he's going to spend a time token to move up here to J. Sorry, I forgot to flip that over. And then he's going to spend a time token to use the eyeliner to resolve this. So she thanks you profusely for helping her through. the weirdness. Gain an item. So we're going to gain another item, which is going to be a boombox. Badass. So this item, I guess, goes in the bottom of the deck. So we gain a boombox. It's loud. We can combine it with a bike for a decoy, with glue for a decoy, with makeup to be knockouts. We put some makeup on, carry our boombox. We are awesome. So okay, so now Stefan has three items, and then I think so. This is resolved now. What else can he do? There's not a whole lot he can actually do. Let's just hold off. Let's maybe there's a way that we can help out. But what we want to do is actually. We can't. Oh no, we can. Okay, so let's use one time token to go here to Morby. That's one time token, and then what we're gonna do is you found a scrawny raptor chick that you started feeding. Once per round, you may spend one time token. Oh no. Oh, but we have to spend a time token. Oh, do we? If we're just home. Oh. Hold on just a second. Because we're technically home, but we are not home for dinner. I think that's a different thing. Like if we move here, it's different than if we go home for dinner. Okay, so if we go home for dinner, if already at your home location, it's 0 time tokens. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we're gonna go home, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a 1 time token to do this. Okay. So now I wonder, do we gain this immediately? So basically, what we did was we put our second counter on this, and once we had 2, we succeed. So let's look at that. Let's look at our chores and see what happens. So my question is, do we gain it right now because we succeeded, or do we gain it on Friday when our chores should be done? Okay, resolve chores. Verify if any of the current chores have been fulfilled. Kids with successfully completed chores get the reward immediately, or can choose to take it at a later turn, but not later than the chore deadline marked on the calendar. Any items received as a reward for completing chores may exceed the item limit until the end phase of the next turn. Okay, so that was part of the end phase that I didn't read. Yeah, and then check diary cards. Some diary cards may refer to cleanup or end phase. Those text trigger now. After this, new round begins. Okay, so basically what happens is this hangs out, and then at the end phase is when this triggers, and we get our pet raptor. So cool, good. So now he's going to be home for dinner. So if we're already at the home location, we have 0 time cost. So this is the directions I'm looking at on page 21. And it shows from an open location to home is 1, from a restricted location to home is 2. If you're already at your home location is 0. So perfect. Okay, great. That was a good round for Stefan, I think. Okay, so now Sasha. What do we want Sasha to do? So we want him. Ooh, what about his chore? So we have to basically spend time tokens at home. Okay, well we got a couple days. We don't need to clean our room now. That's dumb. Okay, so let's have him move here. So he spends 1 time token to move there, and then yeah, let's go for it. So we're gonna go here. So we spend a time token, and then what happens when we do that? So when entering a location, by whatever means, with a machine in a nearby sector, check its response card to see if it's a test required to avoid it. If there's a green icon, no test is needed, but a red block or a yellow special icon means a test is required. using the trait listed at the top of the card. A successful roll means that the kid avoids the attention of the machine, doesn't trigger any effects, and can continue moving. A failed roll means the machine's response takes effect after often hindering movement. This test does not add any time cost to the move and can be pushed. Okay. All right. So we look at the MK79, and it's got a lightning bolt or blue, outrun or outsmart it. So it's a test. So we have clever. So we have 5 dice. So 5 dice are in our pool. So here we go. We're looking for 6s. 1, 6. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, so we succeed. So basically, nothing happens. We're able to avoid it, and nothing bad happens. Okay. So now, so 1, 2. Okay, so we use 2 time tokens. Now we're gonna spend a time token to resolve this strong box. So that means we investigate. So we do this test now. So, damn it, I almost have it. The strongbox is using some new cipher you haven't encountered before. Why did they leave it behind? So we roll 5 again. So it's blue. So we're strong with that. So we get 5 die. Looking for a 6. Oh no, we failed. So there's some rules on pushing. Let's read those real quick. If a test does not succeed on the first roll, the players can choose to take a condition to re-roll all the dice in the test. This is called pushing the roll. The kid then takes an unspent time token from the pool and places it in the slot of a condition of their choosing. Okay? All time tokens have already been spent, or if the kid is injured, they cannot push. A roll can only be pushed once, and the re-roll is not counted as a separate roll for the original roll, but instead replaces it. Okay. Important for conditions. Okay. All right. Okay, so what's the failure? We become upset, exhausted. So what does it become? Both of those things? Do we fill both of those? So would we take 2 of those and go upset, exhausted like that? Okay. So basically, what happens is we become upset. If anybody else helped, they would become exhausted. So we just get an exhausted, or we get upset. And upset is we can't help. Relieve by getting help. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to push. So we gain 1 condition. So I think we're burning the midnight oil, and we're going to become exhausted after this. But we're gonna push it. Oh, there we go. There's 1 6. Okay, so we succeeded. I rolled 5, right? Yep. Okay, so now we success. With the final keystroke, the box pops open. Gain an item. So we'll gain an item. Regain epoxy glue. Okay. We can combine it with our windproof lighter to make an explosive. That might be helpful. But for now, we'll put it in our inventory. Okay, so that is a successful thing. Okay. All right, so now what do we want to do here? We got 2 time tokens left. So let's see here. Each of the following can occur once per turn. Gain 1, and I can't remember the name of that icon yet again. 1 insight when a glitch machine is scouted. So what does scouting do again? A machine at a nearby sector. The kid then gets to place 2 leftmost firewalls on the firewall track face up. The kids now know some of the machine's behavior. Okay, yeah, let's do that. So we're going to spend 1 time token to scout this guy out. So we're going to grab 2 random firewall tokens, and we place them like this, I believe, right? Yep, and then we flip them over. Okay, so we need a strength, which Stefan would be good at, and then a green, which Stefan would have 4 on that. So Stefan looks like he's the best best man for the job to hack this MK. Okay. All right, and then we would gain 2 if it's successfully hacked. Okay. So we gain 1 insight for scouting it. Okay. All right. So then Sasha's going to use his 1 remaining time token to go home. Boop. And then he's gonna make mom and dad happy. Okay. But we are now exhausted. Okay, so let me look at the rest, the rules real quick and see if I can figure out what that means. 20. Okay, so we spend 1 time token. Each turn, a kid can spend 1 time token to remove 1 condition or move the injured time cube 1 space to the right. When the time token is removed from a condition, it is instead placed in the action space. Okay, so this is the action space, right? Yep. Oops. Boy, I just shot that all over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Oh, I'm missing 1. Oh, there we go. So this goes up here, and this goes under exhausted. Okay. So I guess then. Okay. Okay, so basically what we would do is if these were over here. Oh, sorry, I messed that up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This should go here. This should go here. There we go. Okay, so what he does next round, what we can do is we'd basically do this. This would go up here, and then when that resets, this goes back up into our pool. Okay. Cool. Okay, well, that's all of our turns. So let's do the end phase. Discarding the excess items. We got 3 and 2, so we're still good. Good and bad behavior. We're home, so we're good. If the kid is injured, move the locked time token 1 step to the right. If it then leaves the last box, okay. This happens whether or not they are made home for dinner. Okay, resolve the chores. So now this chore is resolved. So we get the Pet Raptor Anomaly card. I'm going to try not to spoil myself and look at any of these. I'm just going to look at the tops. Dino Claw. Ooh, Pet Raptor. Okay. So it's hit and run is its kind of key name. Uses 3. Having a pet raptor is reassuring. May be used to avoid becoming upset or scared. Okay. Cool. So what happens is we put 3 of these tokens on here, and each time we use our pet raptor, we take 1 away, and then once we get to 0, then the pet raptor is gone. But now that's one of our items. So we're now at 4 items. Okay. All right. Check the diary cards. Okay. Okay. So then it's not adjacent to the fire guard, so B2 doesn't come into play, and we reset again.